And you're right. I'm wrong. I don't know about race cars.
Hey y'all, as always, welcome to Turn 4 Talks. I'm Nate, this is Pops. We're always happy to have y'all. It was a fun Talladega weekend with a bunch of new winners and a lot of drama and excitement, and we're happy to dive on in.
Talladega, man, that's awesome, man. Come on. First time winners, you gotta love it.
Oh yeah, Talladega is always fun. It's got a reputation as it is, and first-hand experiences, it lives up to it. But it has been a great race weekend. I think everything from all four series or all three series that ran was very worthwhile. And let's jump on in head first.
Yeah, no trucks this weekend, so seems to be trending the ARCA series. Menard there. What you got?
So I'll definitely start with the Cletus effect. First, that they had 41% more viewership than the same race last year in the ARCA series. So I whether you like him or not, and I've said it before, and we've already kind of harped on this numerous times, but when you get 41 more percent, when you have 330,000 people on watching a Talladega ARCA race, it is shows how much that guy really has an impact on the sport, good or bad, like him or not.
Yo, it's Taylor Remy, man. They wanted to see that girl, man. They wanted to. Come on. She finished fourth, man. But yeah.
No, good runs, good runs. I mean, his YouTube stream alone when he did the live stream which was really cool and neat to watch because, I mean, Kevin Hamlin's a great spotter, but he shows he's coachable. I mean, it really does because, I mean, Kevin was walking him through a lot of things, telling him when and where to work, and he's an excellent spotter. And
There's some crazy stats, man. They said they had like 100,000 people watching his in-car camera. I didn't even know his in-car camera existed. I'm just saying.
no, it really goes to show. And then he showed out too. It wasn't just another rough weekend for him where he was happy to finish. I mean, he got all the way to the end and almost thought he had it. I mean, he ran up to the wall and then had to come back down. And with the whole Gus Dean thing, you were looking for a minute, but it was and no credit to take away from Andy Jankowski, Mister. I'm gonna put my foot on the pedal and hold until I see God or the checkered flag. He finally got his first win too, so a lot of kudos. He's a really great driver, and I feel like he's been overshadowed this whole weekend by the whole Cletus thing. But it shows that you give some Cletus some more seat time, as I've been saying, and you give him some more experience and some knowledgeable people around him. I really think that he can continue to prove people wrong.
Yeah, my two takes on it is like Andy, man, the guy wins his first race, and the crowd is booing the hell out of him because he beat Cletus, and the fans were going crazy for Cletus. I mean, crazy. And my second take is, yo, that guy needs to run that series full time. I definitely think that would be the proper stepping stone for him, and he would definitely learn a lot towards the next series if he's serious. But man, he's a businessman.
Yeah, he showed he interviewed well, he did well, but and I mean, there's so many drivers we're overlooking who had decent runs all day, like you said. Um, Multiple female drivers in the race who did well. I mean, it's easy to pass over that when you have this big, hot, burning star of a topic in the middle of the day. But, all things considered, it was a really interesting ARCA race to watch, and I know a bunch of y'all tuned in, so well worth the while.
Yeah, I heard KP, Kyle Petty there. He said he's like a little kid playing with matches. Like, oh, you're like, oh, look how cute he is lighting the match. But until someone gets hurt, that's the way he looks at it. I think it's a little harsh. If you go back into history, Kyle Petty's first race ever in a race car was in the ARCA series. Never drove anything else before. So, give us a break, bro.
Yeah. And with that said, we'll jump over to Xfinity.
Oh, I said it. Yo, we're gonna have a tip jar in the future for that one, man. Every time you say Xfinity, you gotta put a 10 spot in
You
the
get some
jar.
credit because that's brand marketing. They saved the Spears sponsor long enough that now it's stuck in the back of your head. And
Yo, man.
O'Reilly will definitely work its way in, but it's a slow burn, that's for sure.
Yo, man, Xfinity's so fast, it's still in his head. There you go. I
Yeah.
say it too. So we love you, man.
Car as
Peace.
fast as 10G internet, I guess. But speaking of, we'll start at the top and kind of work our way back. I think Corey Day, as we mentioned, another first time winner. We've been giving him a hard time all season from the beginning about this and that, and especially wrecking and being unrespectable towards other drivers, especially from the same make and teammates unofficially. But he really had a good day. If there was anybody I can harp on for being a bad driver and hurting his teammates, it's not him. So I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, Corey Day. Could you expect us to say anything else? I mean, like about him because his learning curve was quick, and he was like no patience. It seemed at the beginning. He definitely seemed, Talladega is a racer's track. I mean, I couldn't believe how calm he was after he won the race and in the interview. But yeah, there was some other crazy stuff going on in that one, man. What caught your eye in that
I was
stuff?
gonna say he didn't have the fastest car. I think one of the cars, if not the two fastest cars that stuck out to me the most, starting with Sam Mayer. That 41 was quick all weekend. He even ended up managing to get half dumped down the backstretch, make his way back through the field, and be there when it counted, or almost when it counted. Only to get dumped again by Swalach, but he genuinely showed that he's got some talent, just some bad luck. And he's such a good driver, and it's only a matter of time before he kind of hopefully starts breaking through a little more.
Yo, the Hendrick engines have definitely called ECR, man. They were putting on a show, and they had no patience for the 21 or the 2 anymore. They were like, "Yeah, good luck with that. You're out to dry." I mean, a couple of times.
Yeah, they worked with him when they had to, but when it came to point, they definitely weren't sticking there with him. Same thing goes with the 00. Uh,
Great.
yeah, I mean he was up there. It was interesting watching the Haas sandwich for the little while there with the two car in between them. And I mean, Jesse Love even made a bad move towards the end. I feel like he made an egregious block, and it just kind of cost him a lot of time and space when he had a great car all day, considering.
Yo, that kid's talented, man. When you saw Algier and Carson come up to do that blend stuff, man, it was like zig, zag, zig, man. And he didn't let off the throttle. It looked like to me, man. That was impressive.
No, you got to give credit where he's due, and he's proving he was worthy as an Xfinity Series champion because he was last year.
No.
Now, I mean, in the O'Reilly Series, he's still trying to earn that championship, but it's the same. But same but different. But you
One
know,
of these things is not like the other. Is that what you're
yeah.
saying?
But I think another car that stuck out to me was Ryan Sieg. Um, he's due for a win, and we all know that. Anyone who's watched an O'Reilly or Xfinity Series race in the last few years knows that he's just been there too many times to count on so many different track types. He, for a family-run team that's a small team, he has speed. He's a talented driver. It's just a matter of time, and hopefully it's sooner than later. But he's a deserving winner when it comes.
Man, there was parts when he was pushing Creed, like, hey, they look like the same car with 8 wheels on the side. I'm just saying, but they were hooked up, and definitely you could see it. You could see it, man. And teammates in a backwards kind of way, I guess, right? The
Yeah,
39-29 with this 00 and the 41, right?
they mentioned on the broadcast just because they work out of the same little group of shops and they share a lot of information and resources. So, I mean, they're de facto teammates in a sense, the same way as Day is with the JRM cars, despite being a different team on paper. But yeah, I think there was the other thing that was stuck out to me very much was William Swalach.
Sorry, sorry.
No, I mean you're right. I mean, the besides being in a few bad spots of the whole race, I think the one that stuck out the most was him like a bowling ball through pins as they were doing pit entry on a pit that he did not even have planned with his team. He just said, "I'm going now," and then didn't even execute the pit cycle well.
Yo, man, they're lucky there was that gap for him to slide through there, but wow, man, the speed he was coming down pit road. Everybody else slowed up, but I mean, I was losing my mind that first lap, man. He took out, Patrick, and then he crashed him into David Starr, and I'm thinking SpongeBob with the David Patrick Starr the whole time. But that's still a little kid in me. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I think the most interesting thing that stuck through the whole weekend with a lot of drama considered was that Patrick Starr with Patrick Starr.
Starpoli. Sorry
No,
about
no,
Yo,
no,
that
no,
was
no.
my fault.
David Starr was actually the only driver in the 21st century to make a top three series start in every single year. And I mean, obviously that bounces between series and all sorts of things, and but to have made a run in every year of the 21st century, hey, you give a lot of
That's a
credit.
killer statistic, man. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, that's gets you in the record books and for paper.
Yeah. Anybody else stuck out to you on the O'Reilly Series weekend?
Definitely the Carson fan there, and also, with all guy. I mean, the stage one, stage two, those guys look like they were killing it. That whole blend rule thing was like, definitely shot him in the foot there, man. There's no doubt about it, man.
I mean, their specific blend shows why NASCAR had the conversation with them, but the fact that they had the conversation with them and then it still ended up burning them was a little frustrating. Both those cars were definitely quick and could have probably made a difference in the end, but I guess that's racing.
Yeah, it definitely stung. I mean, you got some points, but it definitely tanked their finish. There's no doubt about it. And that end of that race, I mean, we go back to Swallow. He was just seemed to be involved in everything. And I know that 41 got loose at that one point, went back. I think there was probably 15 laps left, drove it back up there, and he wiggled again, and then Swallow just tanked the rear of him, and it was like, but man, the things you say, man,
Yeah.
there's no doubt about it.
And surprisingly enough, William Byron has not showed too much as a cup ringer on the O'Reilly series. He's a couple off weeks, I guess, and maybe he's just readjusting and just some bad luck. But he's been interesting to see. Usually, you think you have a guy who's like that comes to one of these tracks in an O'Reilly car and nowhere to be found.
But he was like running a lap down. What was he even getting in the mix for? Was he trying to help Day? I don't know what he was trying to do up there, but that was a little crazy to me. And then, like I say, Jeb Burton, man, that guy either gets a top five or he's on the rollback. And I guess it was a rollback this weekend, but, you know.
Yeah, he was running well, and then I mean he was there. He was part of that whole little run with the blend rule and everything. But he
Him and his
is
cousin were up front, man. Him and Harrison, man, they were proving what they got. But like I said, he's all out sometimes, but
he's very a checkers records driver, and
yep.
I'm
Well,
sure that hopefully he'll keep having some successes. But it seems that he hasn't learned from a few of his mistakes. But hey,
yeah, Creed, man, the dash for cash, man. He doubled that up in 2 weeks in a row. I know those guys in the shop are probably loving him, man. They'll give him a good race car next week for sure. That's some money for sure for him.
oh yeah, that does it for me with O'Reilly. But do you got anything else that I'm forgetting here?
Well, yeah, just to pop out, I always like to pick somebody. I know Resloff again was up there for running really good. Hats out to Clements, man. That team, man, that was pretty impressive in the 51. He's definitely cool to see, man. I know that helps them out when they can bring that car home undamaged, and you know,
Yeah, talking about another family-owned small operation team that's made a switch to get some bigger engines and grown their sponsorship and their funding. Again, he's a proven winner at least. Sadly, unlike Sieg, which I don't think is a knock on Sieg, but it's always fun to see those guys up front, especially on the super speedways when they get a little bit more of a chance. They build cars for these weekends with all the darts thrown at the wall and ready to go. So,
I'll second that, man. But we're gonna dive into the meat in the sandwich now, aren't we?
oh yeah, I think the Cup Series was.
Where do you start, dude? Where do you start? Like, do you start with the the basic, like, long stage, medium, short. I mean, it was it.
I think so. I think NASCAR, you got to give credit to. They heard all the complaints after Daytona about fuel saving this, fuel saving that, and they said, all right, we're going to just throw a dart at the wall, as I was saying, and just try something different. Let's see if flipping the stage lengths and giving the longest stage as the first one was going to be the deal breaker. And I think it did have an interesting impact on the race.
I mean, that the mayhem that started out of that. You had Denny too fast, right? You had Briscoe taking out his tire carrier. You had Cindric totally like missed the pit. On top of that, you had the 10 pitted by itself, Dylan, and then the 16 pitted by itself. And those guys still held on the lead lap. So that is something I've never seen or heard of before at the Dega.
Oh, yeah. And I said this as in the Daytona episode about when we were questioning what could you do to fix the fuel saving problem. And I simply said, all it takes is somebody going full throttle and not caring about fuel saving. And everyone's either going to get left in the dust by a handful of car lengths or they're going to have to speed up and follow. And kudos to Chad Fincham. That 66 car led with 6 laps and eight laps under green,
man.
And it was impressive from the beginning. He said, screw it. I'm going to be in the back no matter what. I might as well just run up front for a few laps full throttle. But the interesting thing about that is it did fix the fuel problem because you had that 8-car pack with Denny leading who said, all right, because they had to be a little more on the throttle and they got to the point where they were not saving as much fuel and they said we might as well try and run away with it. And you saw an 8-car breakaway that kind of started to pull from the rest of the field. I really think that was impressive. I think that was great strategy. Good for their sponsors on that team to get some showtime. You know, it's always cool to see a small team lead, as we were just talking about in the O'Reilly series. And yeah, it didn't pan out once Denny and that crew got full throttle, or at least closer to it. But
dude, he was running 54-second laps, dude. That's not your average up there. And then when they said let's go, man, Denny was all over that bumper, and then finally Fincham was like, I'm gonna bail on this one, man. But no, props to him and the Car Long team for getting up there and saying, like, we're not sandbagging. We got nothing to lose, man.
And Cody Ware did the same thing. He didn't have the exact same results, but Cody Ware running top 10 most of the race would probably not have been on your bingo card, and if it was, buy me a lottery ticket.
But props to that, man. Cody Ware, man, they say it. He's gonna show up one of these super speedways one day. He's definitely no doubt.
He's not a bad driver, and he gets a bad rap because of the team's past history and being a driver who's partially in the seat because of nepotism. And washing all that aside, though, he's not a bad driver. I mean, he makes some mistakes. Obviously, last week he let the tire blow, and it caused a caution with a few to go that upset a lot of people. But at the end of the day, he's not. I mean, if you're gonna give Cletus a hard time about not being prepared for the series, I'm pretty certain Cody Ware could outhold him, and that's not a knock on Cletus, but Cody's been doing this for a long time, and he showed to this weekend that at least he has the sense of being able to make something happen when the cards fall right.
Couldn't tell you who his sponsor was with that white and pink car with the gold wheels, man. That thing looks sexy on the track, man. I'm telling you, I definitely saw it a couple times. I was impressed, but
oh yeah. Speaking of wrecks, I think another big topic to jump into was the Bubba field, the big one. And I will start with my hot take, which it's kind of a mild take, but I don't think that was Bubba's fault or Ross's fault. I think that was just a racing incident. The line behind was going a little quick, closed up too quick, and hit Bubba hard. The cars don't line up well. And then Bubba would have saved it if it weren't for that third lane. I know this again, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I don't think that it was bad driving by Bubba. He's proven, especially at Daytona this year, that alone, let alone his previous super speedway races, that he's not a slouch when it comes to drafting. He's not how Brad and Joey were in the last few years, taking everyone out with their shoes sideways here, but I don't know if you could pin that on Bubba.
I think he put his foot in his mouth by saying we need to learn to take a push, and he was being sarcastic.
Now, so
and I mean,
that's a bummer, but we gotta figure out how to be pushed better. So I take responsibility on that, and we'll have a good debrief and figure out what we can do to make our Toyotas a little bit better being
sarcastic.
Pushed and
I mean, the world jumped down his back. See, he took responsibility. He took responsibility. But, you know, the energy in those lines, I mean, that was a really good explanation that you said. But you see the energy in those lines, man. And, you know, you're talking 5 cars back. Those guys can't see what's ahead of them 3 cars ahead, man. It's coming. And, yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, Ross, you know. I don't know about, you know, yeah, all right, I'll go into that later with the Fox broadcast with Ross Chastain in his jockey car with, my mind was blown with Boyer with, he's wearing his jockeys and he's sliding the skid marks. I was like, oh, dude, man, you know, I'm sure there was some 5-year-olds laughing at that one. But
and you wonder why we're all sitting here ready for Prime or any other coverage at all, because Fox has just found a way week after week to continue to beat our head against the wall and just say, why are you talking about this?
Yeah, and the commercial breaks were coming at the wrong times, too. It was just, I don't even think they knew what they were doing, man.
And Fox had advertised they wanted to go the whole race side by side with no full screen commercials, and then they blamed the lack of cautions in the first stage on not being able to do that and had to run full screen commercials, which is the lamest apology. Sorry we messed up and didn't expect it to be a quiet first stage, which it always is, even with the longer one at super speedways. And then saying we'll do better next time. We've been waiting for you to do better and better and better, and just it's trying to placate me is not doing its trick, my friends. So sorry.
Well, NASCAR had a lot to blame in this race too, man. Because you know, I laugh. We go back 2 weeks ago with Daniel Suarez going, "Yo, these guys went to the effing moon, and why we can't even get a radio to work?" Because there's been a plague of radio issues. They had that caution. The caution came out. They're coming up. The lights went. The guy's throwing the flag. The lights go out on the pace car. Everybody goes and makes a choose. They're going down the backstretch, double file, and then they're like, "Next time around, you choose." Everybody in the car and the spotters were like, "What? We already chose." Like what? So, and then they made the call with the 38 on coming off pit row, which they gave him his lap back. And, you know, we know he's been consistent in the race. And then someone else was like, oh, you can do that. And they're like, yeah, no. So they were making some bad calls from the tower as well this weekend. Blame it on radio, as they say. But, you know, we'll see.
Which I think is part of racing. I mean, it gets to being, not saying defending NASCAR on this, but the radio issues are nothing new, and there'll be nothing that's going to change for many years. There's always going to be radio issues that happens at every series, including F1 and IndyCar. It's not unheard of. It's just it's a racing deal, and it definitely caused some confusion across the bridge this week.
Yo, is that like the vortex? Like when we had the digital TV at the race, and every time the car went by, the signal went out, and then it came back? I mean, are they going that fast? I just blows my mind. I kind of side on Danny, oh boy, over that. You know, he was like, yo. But, you know, who knows?
I think the head slapper of the whole weekend, in my opinion, kind of going back to the red flag big one. Oh, Connor, you'll figure it out soon. But Connor Zilic getting a penalty for moving under the red flag conditions. And it wasn't anything too egregious, but at the same time, you look and you see this and you're just shaking your head and you're just like, all right, I get it. You're young. You're going to learn. Things happen. But his string of bad luck, start to wonder how long this string is.
Yeah. You know. I laughed. You look back at it, I don't know, you caught it, but like Noah Grayson was out there chipping that thing at 9 grand trying to get the fastest lap out there. He was all the way in the back of the pack. He kept chipping it and chipping it. Then all of a sudden, Gillian just came screaming in and stole that one from him. But I mean, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. There's a couple other interesting moments to the race. I think leading up to the finish there, that whole little bobble between Austin Dillon and then the Shane Vingensbergen and Priest. It was uh, three cars that ran hot and fast all day. I think it got caught in that late race shuffle, and it definitely played an impact on the end of the race itself.
No doubt about it. I mean, I know Noah got credited with ninth and Kyle Busch in 10th, but the attrition of that wreck early on at 115 was part of it. Don't get me wrong; they were still alive, and that goes for a lot of other guys that made it through that wreck. But when you saw the Burgermeister try to go between the 3 and the 60, and then all of a sudden that window closed quick. It wasn't. It looked like a 37 to me on the TV. I don't know what bounced across his roof and took the number off, but
Alternatively, Ty Gibbs should not have been out there taking laps afterwards. And I'm the biggest proponent and the biggest supporter of the removing of the clock policy and the having to, like, if you're in a wreck, retire immediately. I'm glad that NASCAR reverted from that. But I don't know how and or why that they sent that 54 car back out there and said we can take laps without causing problems, let alone where Ty was trying to put himself, because that ended up causing another stupid caution. He's lucky it didn't take out more cars.
what, for 3 points?
Yeah.
He made 3 more laps and he beat a couple guys in the points. I mean, that's what it was all about, and that's what they did for years. But yeah, that something was awry in that car for sure.
Usually, you bring up the past, though. That's one of those things. You see a lot of guys, and I like to see a lot of guys come back out after a wreck or an incident. But that car wasn't driving straight, and he was still trying to run in the pack. I mean, you take your lumps, and if you want to keep getting laps in and just get ahead of all the guys who are crashed out, you lose the draft. You run in the back and stay out of the way. And I mean, I hate to use him as an example, but Austin Dillon and Daytona. I mean, early in the race, took the entire front nose of that car off, and yeah, the poor 3 car was driving around without a whole front nose clip for the entirety of the race, but did not factor into the rest of the race. And I'm not mad that Austin Dillon came back out and drove around the rest of Daytona as a non-factor trying to get points. But the difference with the Ty Gibbs thing is put himself in a bad spot trying to fight for more than he knew that car probably should have been worth, and it took some more people with him and caused another change of the race pace.
You got a pretty solid point there. I mean, like we always say, we love this sport. It's evolving. It's 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Next week they'll throw something else at us, but we still keep tuning in, man. And then I guess with that, we got to go to the winner.
Well, it's why you tune in. Just, it's as the famous NASCAR quote goes: "Have you ever?"
I have never.
No, and that is what a popular win. I know all the people hate on Hurricane, and we've been hard on hosts of ourselves, but that was such a spectacular win. He did it clean, he did it right, and then he left us all on Sunday evening going, "Oh, I want more." And
that grandstand, they thought that thing was going to come down with the people. Everybody was just so happy for him, which is crazy.
Everyone, because when you do it right and when you just work hard and you keep being you consistently, it's one of those things too. We always say you need villains, just like in the WWE. You need the bad guy to hate on, or the match is lame. I mean, it's in the same sense as we all want to harp on this guy and give him a hard time for driving aggressive and everything, but when he does it, it was spectacular. And then
But
he proved it was worth it for the celebration.
yeah, he is outside the etiquette of the normal NASCAR driver because he would stick that car where, they came up off the corner, he dove it to the yellow. Like, he would go into places. I mean, there was even a point where Briscoe was way in the back, and he got freaked out when that 77 went by in a bolt of speed. He was like, "What? Whoa!" He was like, "That's cool," but he was still freaked out. But like the way he drives that car and he puts it on the edge, and maybe more guys got to drive like that. I mean, if you're gonna just sit back, but he definitely was like on a mission. There's no doubt about it.
And I don't think you're wrong. I mean, tame Ross Chastain has just been quiet and has been there a few times, but you know, gotta say that was some of the most exciting thing having someone to root against. As I was just saying, when Ross was a wrecking ball, bowling ball, freaking going through pins here, it really made you like have something to be invested in. It's hate shouldn't necessarily be an emotion, but if somebody evokes such emotion that you have negativity towards somebody on track, it's still invoking emotion, and that's still making it's adding to the thrill and make you want to sit there with popcorn in hand.
Yeah, I mean, people are still questioning that. Is it like the Mr. H conversation just scared him so much that he actually has skid marks in his jockeys? Or is it the team? Because he definitely put that car on the edge and he didn't care who went or where. I mean, even you look at the Hail Melon, man, I mean, he's going to be legendary for that. But, he's still got a story to tell, man. He's got more to do.
Yeah, I think there's definitely more, and just with story to tell, I don't think this is the last time we'll see Carson in victory lane. I don't think this might even be the last time we see the celebration after Steve O'Donnell's reaction, and I'm okay with that.
Oh,
But
that's got to be the worst celebration in the world, man. I just can't believe it, man. I mean, if he would have did a lasso or caught the beer, I probably would have been epic. But otherwise, it was a hot mess for me.
I agree to disagree. I think that's the fun part is everyone gets their own opinions on this and what they saw, but regardless of him winning and my opinions on him, just sitting and watching that goes up there with one of the most exciting moments, the must watch. I mean, I was sitting there just blown away, like, what am I watching? And then I was like, oh, I know what I'm watching. This is cool. It was just so much fun, and you could see the genuine passion. Worthwhile.
Yeah, it's like Stephen A. Smith saying NASCAR drivers aren't, athletes. You got people tuning in and say, what this kid's going to do next time? There definitely has that element to it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you say and do stuff for people to be like, what? And maybe that's half, Steve O'Donnell, the new, VP there, we just left the wine and cheese part of the France family and now it's all beer and pretzels, but we love that. So good call.
I think the boys have at them. Let's just let them run and do what they want to do, and we'll see how it plays out. Why put a cap on this and quiet it when clearly Steve O'Donnell knew how big this would be? I mean, hey, and I will take it one step further, and this might be a hot take, but with all that said, is I have no problem with it because even if he put himself in danger, I'm sure the insurance companies didn't like it, but even if he put himself in danger, then he's only gonna put himself in a spot that he can hurt himself, and we could see, like, I say that in the sense of points wise and driving wise. If he wants to take those risks as a winner and as a chance, it's not the same, but it's no different than Carl Edwards doing a backflip off of the windowsill. It's not necessarily the safest thing in the world, but it's fun to watch. And the chance that Carl never did, but the chances of Carl messing it up and falling and breaking his collarbone or his neck or something, it was a non-zero number. And if Carl knocked himself out of potential of winning a nationwide series championship or a Cup Series championship, then his competitors won't be mad. And it's not like this is going to change the theme and all of a sudden it's going to become a weekly thing and you're going to see. You're not going to see Cletus doing this if he ever wins a race.
Yeah, but how can you go from you can't stand on a door sill in victory lane, but you can hang out and attempt to throttle it up and drive down the front stretch and do burnouts like that. So, do you think this is a private conversation? NASCAR is going to be like, yo, tone it down because they didn't want to seem like the bad guy? Well, he kind of hinted like, just don't, nail it into the wall. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw that out there because it seems as a gray area.
They've quieted down on the windowsill thing. I mean, the whole shtick was Connor Zillage getting hurt tripping on the windowsill when he was...
Yeah, now he pops out the roof hood and stands on the seat, but he gets out real slow like, Grandpa Joe there. But, hey, I don't blame you, man. You got a bolt in your shoulder and you're 19. I guess you're going to start thinking smarter.
I think we let it roll, and I think the truth is, if he can win again, let him do what he wants, because if people genuinely want to watch for something that's exciting, and if it's all cookie cutter and just modern sports-esque where it's just dumbed down to interviews that are cliche and everything, you're only gonna lose fans, traditional and new. So I think let them have at it and let them have fun, and we'll see how it goes.
Nah, respect, man. Kudos to Carson Hoceval, Mr. Free Spins. That was well deserved. He's going outside the box. I give him props as much as I'm jabbing at his celebration. But, man, when I saw that hand, if he grabbed that beer, man, I would have been all in. But, he's not a catcher, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, well, with that said, I think we're wrapping up here.
Oh, man. Yeah, there you go. We're wrapping up. We're off to new destinations, man. There's some great stuff. Want to throw it in there? Some craziness that popped in the news real quick with the 25 All-Star team with Jamie McMurray at San Diego and Boyer coming back at Dover. Well, couldn't you pick an easier track there, Boyer, for yourself, man? But, hey, kudos to that. We're looking forward to seeing some trucks run again, man.
Hey, they mentioned to be an all-star truck, and we got not so much all-stars after Tony, so it's actually neat to see that they brought in some bigger names, and love to see it, and we'll see how that plays out. We'll definitely have to talk about those topics when it rolls through.
Well, with that said, man, we love you. Thanks for checking us out, man. Smash like, smash subscribe, write some hate mail, because I didn't like Hoceval's victory thing. I can take it. I'm a grown man. Any questions? Nothing too crazy, but we love you. We'll catch you next week, man. Like I say, man, grab a kid. Take your wife to a NASCAR race. It's getting close to Mother's Day. Take your mother to a NASCAR race. But there you go, man. Love you guys. Peace out.
Thank y'all.
I've done nothing wrong, and I will not tolerate it.